It is a beautiful day for a walk and talk, and today I find myself to the one of the more popular tourist attractions here in Yuma, Arizona. This is the Yuma Territorial Prison State Historic Park. So this was also known as the Hellhole of the West at one point in time. But as I was familiarizing myself a little bit with this park, apparently at the time that it was in operation, late 1800s into the early 1900s, this prison actually had a lot of amenities that the outlying community did not have, such as, you know, electricity, running water, you know, that type of stuff. But I thought, you know, it's a Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to get out a little bit. I've been sitting working. So this is what Yuma, Arizona looks like. And right down there, I think, is the Riverside Park. I think it's called Riverside Park, and the river being the Colorado River. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but just over yonder, there's a fenced-in area with a bunch of piles of rocks, and that was the graveyard of the prison. And there was some information up here that I'll share with you regarding the cemetery. But I think there were about 100 people that died in this prison during its operation, maybe a little bit more. And they died from typical things like, you know, health related diseases and heart issues and what have you. But there were some that died from rattlesnake bites and being killed by other inmates and what have you. But anyway, from what I've read up on this exhibit, or this state park, it's rather a wonderful it's actually rather a wonderful place to visit. So I thought I would come out and bring you along. And they're actually, this is the information on the cemetery right here. And for those inmates whose bodies were not claimed after their death, their bodies were interned in the prison cemetery. Upon burial, a simple marker, usually made of wood, would be placed on the grave. And they say over time the grave marker's been lost due to weather, but today piles of rocks mark each grave. Isn't that something? So there's the grave over there, and I'm assuming that they've got a list of the different people that died. There's just jump from train and attempt to escape, suicide, tumor of the brain, accident, drowned, heart failure, pneumonia, ulceration of the stomach, paralysis of heart. A lot of these say consumption, and I'm not sure what consumption means. Tuberculosis, heat prostration, first death in the prison, suicide, consumption, Apache Indian, typhoid fever. So there's all types of different ways those people pass. But anyway, so let's go in and check out this facility. All right, I made my way into the gift shop, or the entrance, if you want to call it that. And I'll share some of what you would find in here. There's all the typical stuff with snacks and what have you, but they got a lot of books. The Bedside Book of Bad Girls, Outlaw Women of the American West. Ooh, the Salsa Lovers Cookbook, Mexican Family Favorites Cookbook, Date Lovers Cookbook. Ooh, the Grand Canyon Cookbook. They've got all types of cookbooks here, you know. And they even got a book called Walter the Farting Dog. Okay, so anyway, but look at, isn't this something? They've got a Yumaopoly game, if you want. No shortage of hats that you can buy. Shirts, hats, different types of t-shirts. So, all right, let's go actually experience the prison. There is I don't know if that's Yuma Heart right there, or Pearl Heart. Pearl Heart was one of the more famous convicts of the prison. I found my way into the actual prison itself, and they have some information here. 1875, the prison was authorized. 1876, it opened. First convict was William Hall. I don't know if that was a relative, you know, it might have been. First female convict was Lizzie Gallagher, and the first escape was by J. Lewis. So 1882, the guard tower was built. There you go. You can read up on this yourself online, but kind of a interesting timeline. 1924, the hospital and the mess hall burned. 2010, budget crisis threatens closure of the park. Yuma community's chain gangs raise funds to save the park. So right here, look at this. This is the main guard tower right here. All water from the prison came from the river. Inmates dug a network of tunnels at the base of the hill, which would fill with river water. From there, water was pumped up into the 85,000-gallon granite wall tank, also of inmate construction. And there was a platform built on top of the tank, and that became the guard tower. So you can see the platform, and right underneath it was the water supply of the prison. So, boy, I can't even imagine what this place was like back in the day. It must have been a real hellhole. Oh goodness, I'm sure it was hot. But look, you can see maybe here's where the water was kept. Very interesting. Look at this. India. The vista. Years ago, the confluence of the Colorado and the Gia rivers was at the base of Prison Hill. Wonderful. Here's looking down on the prison. I don't think it was very big. Well, let's go down and we'll check out the prison itself. And this would be the Sally Port. Sally Port, from the Spanish salir por la puerta, meaning to go out the door. In its prime, the Sally Port was flanked on each side by large exterior prison walls that extended from it to enclose the entire prison facility. It had two sets of iron gates. Riot at the Sally Port. In October 1887, the infamous Gates Riot escape attempt took place at the Sally Port entrance. 7 prisoners attempted to escape using the superintendent Gates as a hostage. Gates ordered the tower guard to shoot. 4 inmates were killed, another wounded, and 2 were recaptured. He sustained a knife wound to the neck. So this would have been the gate right here. That's something. Look at this. Wow. Something else. It would surprise a lot of people to know that I've been behind bars myself. more than once. But I'll save that for another. I'll save that for another story. And I know some of you are shaking your head, thinking, "How could I possibly find myself behind bars?" But that was another time, another place. Okay, let's go inside the Territorial prison. As you can see, 1870, 1875. All right, here is a wonderful model of the prison. As you walk into the museum, you can see the guard tower right there, and the water tank, and you can see the wall that surrounded this garden. Is that a garden? I'm got a garden on the brain. This prison, but as you can see, there was a lot more structures here back in the day than modern day. But look at some of this stuff. Look at this. I think they call that maybe I could be mistaken, but I think they call it a Gatling gun, perhaps. Yeah, a Gatling battery gun. Look at that. Wow. And they've got a whole display of the different prisoners that were here. Boy, 15 years old, occupation, Gilder sentenced to 1 year for burglary. 15 years old. Look at, I don't know if you can see any of these, but maybe you can.
It was, it was. There are a lot of stories about people, and you're going to see some of the cells that was blackened inside because they had fire and things like that.
Ball and chain.
Yeah. Yep, and we're actually Baja, California, New Mexico, about 30-minute drive. No, I got it. Yeah. So if you want to visit Mexico, it's just down the road. Yeah.
And I think they have some of the more notorious gangsters. Look at that picture up there on the wall of the prisoners all lined up. And some of the more notorious, maybe the fast gun, Buckskin Frank Leslie, worked for Wyatt Earp at the Oriental Bar, Tombstone. We got the Mormon prisoner, the bookkeeper, hero of the Gates riot. Very interesting. Invitation to a hanging. Well, that's the weight that they would use. A weight used to stretch the hangman's rope at the courthouse gallows. The inmate is weighed the day before the execution, and a rehearsal is done using a sandbag of the same weight as the prisoner. This determines the length of the drop necessary to ensure a quick death. Oh boy. The good old day. The good old days, I should say. Interesting. The Yuma High criminals. Interestingly enough, some of the local high schools used this as used this after it closed, and they became known as the Yuma High criminals. If you can see that. See the football team. These are some of the prisoners, I guess, that escaped out of here. That looks kind of scary. That's Pete Spence. He was a small-time criminal that was known to associate with the Clantons and the cowboy gang in Tombstone. Interesting.
Yeah. Did I show you this photo over here?
Girls of the Old West. She was convicted of adultery and sentenced to 4 months. That naughty woman. Okay. Bad girls of the Old West. Some of these. Adultery, manslaughter, adultery. I wonder if there any men were in here for adultery. I don't think so. But who knows? Oh, goodness. All right. These are the physicians. Some of their tools. Okay. Looks like you can put on an old convict shirt and maybe take a picture. Coming out of the museum, it takes you into the cell blocks. So here are the cell blocks at the Yuma prison. And oh boy, this would not have been a lot of fun. Oh goodness, this is the main cell block. Look at that. I wonder if I can even maybe get a picture inside one of these, see what they would look like. Not a lot of fun, to say the very least. I don't know. Very interesting. They've had quite a bit of rattlesnake bites on the morning of March 18th. This gentleman was tending the garden, as he had often done, when an enormous diamondback rattlesnake bit him. There was nothing that could be done to help him. He died shortly after. Isn't that something? Yikes. You know, I don't want to come across one of those rattlesnakes. Look at this here. Oh, goodness gracious.
Hello there. My name is R.L. McDonald. You may have heard of me. I recently served as a superintendent of schools for Phoenix. Now, you're probably wondering what on earth I'm doing here. Well, I was imprisoned on a charge of...
Oh goodness, so they have some narration. That one got cut off. But wow. Look at some of these here. Look at this. This was the original. These are original iron bunk beds. Look at that. No. Wow. These bunk beds were made in 1901. The change from the old wooden bunks became necessary in order to rid the cell house of bed bugs. which had become an intolerable nuisance. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Very interesting. Dead man walking, Philip Lashley. He's sentenced June 1896, hanged by neck until dead. Oh, goodness. Wow. And over here they've got the dark cell and the infirmary. They also had the insane cell. Wow. Inmates who repeatedly broke prison rules found themselves confined to the dark cell, considered the prison's most severe form of punishment. Wow. Rumor had it held that sadistic guards dropped scorpions or snakes through the air shaft onto the inmates below. Oh my goodness. There's you can even see it. The dark cell. Wow. All right. The infirmary. Okay, folks, I think that's a good portion of the state park, if not all of it. So I'm gonna wrap up the video, and in doing so, I'll wish you well. Okay. Here's the bridge going over the Colorado River. All right. Have a wonderful day.